Good day, everyone. Welcome back again to my talk. Today, my topic is all about Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King was a visionary. He was a man who had a dream bigger than the times in which he lived. After all, what real visionary leaders are all about. Martin Luther King is honored and revered today, but he wasn't embraced by society during his short life. However, King knew that his dream of equality during his time was not very popular. Was more important than the status quo. His action backed by his vision, and it shook up the popular culture at the time. Sometimes doing things completely different is what necessary for evolutions and innovations. These paradigm shifts are crucial in every aspect of social, cultural, and technological changes. The same way of thinking always will the same result. King never accepted that just because things were a certain way, it made them the right way. So there are six leadership lessons I learned from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. First is to anticipate your opponent. Dr. Martin Luther King anticipated what was needed to bring about change. He understood that a marginalized group of people with limited educations, economic means could only become powerful by exercising their voting right as a mass. And second is to challenge the status quo. Martin Luther King Jr.'s strong vision for social justice compelled him to confront the most flagrant violations of civil rights in the South. He was very fearless in confronting the arrogance of white supremacy. He employed powerful, unconventional tactics, including the famous march in Alabama from Selma to Montgomery to shine a light on unjust racial prejudices that was deeply rooted in the South. And third is that Martin Luther King interpreted the signs. King careful selections of Selma as a focal point to escalate the struggle for voting right was based on a keen analysis of the local political scene as well as the various scenarios that would lead to the situations. By organizing and interpreting political undercurrent, moral awakening in the North, and changing social norms, especially among younger Americans, Martin Luther King strategically set out to redirect political forces at local and national levels. And the fourth one is you have to weigh the risk. Dr. Martin Luther King and his team considered multiple options when choosing targets and tactics. From non-violent civil disobedience to provocatively challenging segregation laws, driven by an uncompromising vision of social justice. He always approached tactical decision with a seasoned eye for risk, unintended consequence, and a symbolic value. The fifth one is make strong alliances. Dr. Martin Luther King was very adroit even as a young leader at building mutually beneficial alliances with local ministers and community organizers. And the last one is learn to adapt. Dr. King and his associate encountered numerous setbacks and surprises as they launched their historic uphill battle. Imagine, Dr. Martin Luther King was jailed 29 times at the Birmingham campaign alone. He learned firsthand that no plan survives contact with the enemy and that many adjustments to the plan would be required. Dr. Martin Luther King and his team experimented with a wide range of tactics, including marches, protests, and even leveraging celebrities to create political pressure. Over time, they figure out a powerful tactical mix that worked wonders in the end. Dr. Martin King's impressive command of the above strategic leadership lead to truly historic success. They hold the powerful lessons of all leaders and underscore the courage and persistence needed to change the world. Leaders who want to change minds and overcome deeply entrenched prejudices, biases, and misguided values need to master these disciplines profiled above and illustrated by Dr. Martin Luther King's words and deeds. At the age of 35, Martin Luther King was the youngest man to receive the Nobel Prize. When notified for his selection, he announced that he would turn over the prize money, to the civil rights movement. And on the evening of April 4, 1968, while standing at the balcony of his motel room in Memphis, Tennessee, which was to lead a protest march in sympathy with striking garbage worker at the city, he was assassinated. Thank you everyone for listening to my talk. I hope you learned something, some informative leadership skills to our topic today with Martin Luther King. And thank you. See you for our next topic.